Everyone, it's Loretta, and I just want to welcome you to PTA 111 for fall of 2025. So I always look forward to the fall quarter. I love fall. It feels like the beginning of the year to me, and I'm happy to be with you again this quarter. So I'll have you for this class and for PTA 274, and I'll have a little short welcome lecture for that one as well. So this course is really sort of a milestone course in PTA education. We're going to explore the area of physical agents and therapeutic modalities, which are some of the tools of your trade. So, PTA 111 is a 7 credit hybrid course that combines theoretical knowledge in the lecture part of the course and hands on laboratory skills in the lab part of the course. So, over the next quarter, you'll learn theory and applications of various physical interventions that are part of your patient care toolkit. So we're starting to build your toolkit now. So you're going to have tools to work with in the clinic. So our focus areas in this class are going to include massage and soft tissue mobilization techniques. We'll be learning basic soft tissue mobilization as well as myofascial release. We're going to spend a short amount of time on cold and heat modalities, thermal agents. We're going to learn about ultrasound and the theory behind it and the applications of it. We're going to learn about compression and edema management, including lymphedema care. And that is a specialty area, but we'll give you a little introduction to it. We are going to learn about traction, and we're going to learn about electromagnetic therapy and electrical stimulation. We won't be doing all of those in lab, but we will be doing most of those in lab. So this isn't just about learning to operate equipment. A lot of you are aides in PT clinics, and probably a lot of you have applied different types of electrical stim or maybe done ultrasound. But it's about learning the theory behind the different modalities and developing hands-on skills as well as clinical reasoning to determine why and how to use these useful therapeutic tools. So it's not just somebody's going to tell you what settings to use and what to do with ultrasound. You're going to know what settings to use. So it's a new world. It's a different thing. So, why this course matters to you in your role as a PTA? As a physical therapist assistant, you are going to be implementing treatment plans designed by physical therapists, and physical agents will be a part of your toolkit for skilled interventions. Certainly not your whole toolkit, and we'll talk about why that is later. But understanding physical agents and the proper application techniques and the safety considerations and the physiological effects of each agent are crucial for patient safety. So, knowing contraindications and precautions prevents harm to patients. And treatment effectiveness, knowing the proper parameter selection to maximize the therapeutic outcomes for your patients. Your professional competence, just demonstrating expertise, builds trust with patients and colleagues. And legal practice, following evidence based protocols, protects both you and your patients and your employer for that matter. So, this is how we're going to do it in this course. Here's our course structure. It's hybrid, just like a lot of your courses have been. We're going to have the lecture portion will be online. The um, lab portion will be in person. The online lectures give you kind of that flexibility for asynchronous learning. We have 4 intensive laboratory sessions for hands-on practice. 2 of the laboratory sessions, the first one in October and the last one in December, will be 2 days, a Saturday and Sunday. 2 of the laboratory sessions, the second one in October and the one in November, are going to be 3 days. So it's a little bit of a mix-up from what we've done before, either 2 or 3 days. We're going to have some of each. So the laboratory schedule to mark on your calendars is October 4th and 5th. Everybody's favorite lab. We're going to do soft tissue mobilization. There are no tests. There are no lab practicals. So that's why, and everybody gets massage. So everybody likes that one the best in the lab weekend. So lab weekend 1, the Pierce lab will have Claudia Daghofer, everybody's favorite Pierce lab instructor. And the Bellingham lab will have Carrie Van Loo, who none of you have met at this point, but you will meet her in the lab, and everybody's favorite Bellingham lab instructor. So weekend two, October 25th through 27th, that's one of the 3 days. So we go Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And we are going to sort of continue with what we learned in soft mobilization and add on some of the techniques of myofascial release, as well as looking into thermal agents and ultrasound. In that lab weekend, we will have our first lab practical on the Monday of the weekend. The Pierce lab will be Claudia, and I will teach the Bellingham lab for that weekend. The third lab weekend, we are all going to be in Bellingham together. Claudia will be there. I will be there. You all will be there. And it'll be November 22nd to the 24th, which is the weekend before Thanksgiving. We're going to do electrical stim. We're going to do edema management, and we're going to do traction. And Carrie Van Loo will be there as well. So everybody's going to be there. And in addition to everybody, we're also going to have a lymphedema specialist come in and teach us some techniques, which is wonderful. She's a PTA, and I think you will love her. And she'll show you how much effect a PTA can have on our patients. It's amazing. The last lab, and that lab weekend, there's no lab practical. Yay! The last lab weekend is December 6th and 7th, and that's a 2-day lab. And we will have the second lab practical in that day. So in the material that we're going to cover besides the lab practical is we're going to talk about integration of modalities and advanced applications. So how do we sequence the modalities to get the most out of our treatment? We're going to work on that. So the success of your efforts will be measured through 3 online exams, which are 50% of your grade, testing your theoretical knowledge. And those will be administered just like you're used to for online exams. There are 2 laboratory practical exams, which represent 30% of your grade. And that's demonstrating your hands-on skills and your documentation. So you'll be writing documentation for those laboratory practicals. So that's 80% of your grade right there in the tests and the lab practicals. We'll also have case studies and documentation assignments and 1 or 2 discussion boards that represent 5% of your grade. And you're going to have a research review project, which is 6% of your grade. And basically, you'll find a research article about a modality and you will analyze it in a framework that I will give you. Very easy. It's not like a big research paper or anything. It's just analyzing one research article. And that's 6% of your grade. And participation and lab assignments are 9% of your grade. So that's just showing up as part of it. And then the lab assignments will be documentation. So we're going to be practicing a lot of documentation this quarter, and your SOAP notes for different labs will be that participation and lab assignment grade. So it all breaks out. Of course, it's always test heavy. That's just how it works. That's just how it always is. So our success standards for the PTA program across the board, as you already know, we have the 74% rule on written exams. This is crucial. You must maintain a 74% average on all written exams in order to pass the course. And it's not arbitrary. It reflects the competency standards expected in licensing and in clinical practice. So that's where we get that 74%. We don't just make that up. If you fall below the 74% threshold, we will begin the remediation process to support your success. So remediation isn't a punishment. It's actually a support system to help you get to where you need to actually pass the class. And even better, pass the board exam when you're done with the program. So our lab practicals require an 80% minimum to pass, just like in every other class. So the lab practicals not only test your knowledge, but also your ability to safely and effectively apply therapeutic modalities and treatments. Safety is a priority. Any failure to meet critical safety elements can result in exam failure. If, God forbid, you fail a practical exam, you will be given a second chance to try again and pass that practical. So the learning objectives, by the end of this course, you should be able to position and drape patients with proper body mechanics and professionalism. You should be able to apply pain theory to modality selection and treatment planning. We're going to talk about pain theory, where you should be able to administer various modalities, including massage, thermal agents, ultrasound, traction, electrical stimulation. You should be able to explain the physiological effects of each modality, including indications, contraindications, and precautions. So we're always heavy on the indications, contraindications, and precautions because that's the kind of thing that shows up on the board exam. Safety, safety, safety. Using clinical problem solving skills for treatment progression and safety decisions. That is a key thing that we're going to be working on this quarter. Communicating professionally with patients and with other healthcare team members. So you are part of the team. Documenting treatments based on physical therapist evaluations and plans of care. We're going to work a lot on documentation. I know when you have documentation in 101, it's a little bit difficult because you sort of don't have a hook to hang it on. So now we're going to give you a hook to hang it on, and I want to help you develop your skills in doing the best documentation possible. So week by week, weeks 1 and 2, it's sort of our foundation. I'm going to be lecturing about pain theory. We're going to review inflammation healing from what we learned this summer. And I'm going to start talking about soft tissue techniques, and that will lead us through the first lab. So the labs sort of preload the information in front of the lecture. So we'll do soft tissue mobilization, and then we'll have the soft tissue lectures. We'll do energy-based thermal modalities and ultrasound, and then we'll have the lecture for that. So I tried it both ways, front loading the lecture material and then doing the lab, and front loading lab and doing the lecture. And I think it is easier for you to learn if you front load the lab. So that's how we're doing it this quarter. In week 6 and 7, we're going to talk about mechanical approaches, um, edema management, traction. In weeks 8 through 10, basically, we're going to talk about electrical currents, from basic principles to advanced applications. And our last week, we're going to be talking about integration, combining modalities for optimal patient care. So each week builds on previous weeks, creating a comprehensive understanding of physical agent applications. So it's very important that you are all in on every single week. So success strategies to set yourself up to excel: stay connected. Use the Ask Loretta board, or send me questions through Canvas. Attend office hours if you can. We're going to have office hours on Wednesdays this quarter from 6:30 to 7:30. So I have been doing it on Tuesdays. I'm switching it to Wednesdays. Maybe some different people can come, or some more people can come. If there's some day that you can't come to office hours, you can always send me a question and I'll answer it. And office hours, of course, are not the only time to get questions answered. You can contact me via the Canvas inbox or my Wacom email for anything for anything, for any questions that you have. Or if you want feedback on something, or, contact me anytime. Using your good time management skills that hopefully you're developing in this program, the modules open up on the Saturday preceding the week. So plan your week accordingly. Assignments are due the following Saturday. Use this flexibility wisely. It doesn't mean you should wait until the Saturday that they're due to do your assignments and then turn them in. If you do them early, that gives you a little more flexibility in the week for how you're going to study. So I know some people are deadline people and they're really motivated by that deadline, and some people are early turn it in people. But think about how you're going to plan your week each week, and maybe turning in the assignment early might take some of the pressure off your studying. Just saying. Work ahead when possible, but early submissions are not necessary, but it might work for your schedule. Okay? Be prepared for lab. Come with the appropriate attire. On the second and the fourth lab weekend, you're going to need business casual, like you would dress in the clinic. And you're going to need patient garb. Most of the other weekends, you're going to have to access people's body parts. And so you need to have the appropriate uh, outfit, wardrobe, as Amanda said. You need several wardrobe changes for each lab. So you definitely want to review the material before each lab weekend. You already have your lab manuals, and you can look in there and see exactly what we're doing and practice those skills between sessions whenever possible. It's not always possible. If you don't work in a clinic and you don't have access to an ultrasound machine, you can't really practice, but you can practice soft tissue mobilization. And believe you me, your friends and family want you to practice that. And you can practice sequencing, you can practice, and I'll have like a zillion assignments for you, of course, for you to practice. So lots of practice. Our professional standards beyond the classroom, as PTA students, you're already members of the healthcare community. And a lot of you who work in clinics, as you know, you're already members of the healthcare community. This means academic integrity is a big, important thing. All your work has to be yours. I encourage you to work together, but what you turn in needs to be uniquely yours. The um, you can't, of course, copy materials from anything. You can use AI tools like ChatGPT and other things to help you brainstorm. Some students have told me that they ask the AI to ask them questions in ever increasing difficulty. It's a great way to use AI. But all your submitted work has to be your original work. If you use any material that's generated by AI in your submissions, you have to cite it appropriately. So you have to cite that you got this from AI. The other thing about AI that is interesting is it doesn't always come up with correct information. So check what it tells you and make sure it's on the right track if you are using AI to help generate ideas. But the other thing, I just read an interesting article. I have a friend who's a philosophy professor, and her specialty is artificial intelligence and the ethics of artificial intelligence. She is always sending me articles, and I read the article where it talked about if you download or offload cognitive tasks to AI, you will lose your ability to do those cognitive tasks. And so AI can be a really good tool, but depending on how you use it. But you can't submit work generated by AI unless you cite it. And it shouldn't all be AI. It should be you. So I want to hear what you have to say. I could ask ChatGPT what it has to say any day, but I want to hear what you have to say. So professional behavior, of course. You want to treat classmates and instructors and future patients with respect. You want to maintain confidentiality when discussing patient scenarios. You want to demonstrate the professional behavior expected in clinical settings. So now is the best time to start practicing that. And here's a good opportunity. So the foundation of everything we do is evidence-based practice. And throughout this course, we're going to emphasize evidence-based practice, making treatment decisions based on the best available research evidence, clinical expertise, and patient preferences. This approach ensures that every modality we apply has scientific support and genuine therapeutic value. Very important for the credibility of our profession. We will explore current research and examine outcome measures and learn to critically evaluate the effectiveness of different interventions. This isn't just an academic exercise, it's preparing you to be a thoughtful and competent healthcare provider. And that is really what we want to do. So lots of support systems are in place to support you. You are not alone. Whatcom Community College provides extensive support, not just me, not just the PTA program, but the whole college. If you want a one-on-one tutor and it's free, or it's paid for by your tuition, you can set up tutoring through the Learning Center. You can get writing assistance through the Writing Center. So you could ask ChatGPT to look at your paper, but you could also ask a human at the Writing Center to look at your paper, and they'll do it for free. Technical support for Canvas and computer issues. We have a help desk that you can call, and they can fix stuff for you. If there's a broken link in Canvas, I can usually fix it. If you're having trouble logging on, I'm just as lost as you are. So that's what the help desk is for. Academic advising has guidance and planning, as well as counseling. If you're just so stressed out and overwhelmed and you need some help, the advising office has counseling appointments that you can get to help you deal with that, which is really lovely. We have accessibility services for students who need accommodation for lots of different things. It's not just someone with a disability, it just might be you have an issue that you need help with. And those accessibility services, the Access and Disability Office can help you figure out what kind of help you need, which is lovely. So asking for help is not a sign of weakness, but it is a sign of professional maturity. So don't be afraid to ask for help. This course is more than learning individual techniques. It is about developing clinical reasoning, professional judgment, and the confidence to provide excellent patient care. The modalities that you will learn will be part of your toolkit that you use throughout your career as a PTA. Every physical agent we study has the potential to impact a patient's recovery and quality of life. With that power comes responsibility. The responsibility to use these tools safely, effectively, and with genuine care for the people that you'll serve. So as we begin this quarter, another great quarter together, I love it. Remember that your success is my priority. I am here for you. Use all of your available resources. Stay engaged with the material. Stay engaged with the class, and don't hesitate to reach out when you need support. Your first assignment is to familiarize yourself with the Canvas modules and begin week one's content on inflammation, healing, and pain theory. Our first laboratory weekend is approaching quickly, October 4th and 5th, and we're going to be doing soft tissue mobilization. So let's make this an exceptional learning experience that prepares you to be an outstanding physical therapist assistant. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you in lab in November and some of you in lab in October.